think most of you recognize these folks, but just in case you don't, quick introductions. The sporting director of Arrow McLaren IndyCar team and the winner of the 2013 Indianapolis 500, Tony Kanaan. Tony, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. The CEO of McLaren Racing, Zach Brown. Kyle Larson, the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion and the driver of the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. The guy in the middle, Rick Hendrick, owner of Hendrick Motorsports and chairman and CEO of Hendrick Automotive Group. And all the way down, Jeff Gordon, 4-time NASCAR champion and vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. And Zach, we're going to let you tell everybody why we're all here today, please.
Well, based on when I arrived, I think we've given it away. But I love to hear it, so I will repeat it again. We have some unfinished business to try and win the Indy 500, and of course the NASCAR race following a couple hours later, to be partnering with Mr. H and Hendrick Motorsport, being sponsored by HendrickCars.com, working very closely with legendary Jeff Gordon, and of course having a current legend in our race car and Kyle Larson is a privilege and an honor, and very excited. And I think to do it along with Chevrolet, who's both of our partners, is very important, and excited to put on an even better show than I think we did this year.
Well, thank you, Zach. Kyle, he mentioned the phrase unfinished business. You're going to do this again in 2025. What are your goals and expectations now, knowing what you learned this last time around?
I would say my goals would be to complete 1,100 miles, or get to do both. That was a really important thing for me to get to do both races, and we didn't get that chance this year, unfortunately, due to weather. So as he said, kind of felt like unfinished business, and just really want to get the chance to do what the others have done who've attempted the double. So super grateful for the opportunity once again. Thank you to Mr. H and everybody at Arrow McLaren as well for getting this deal together for me, and let me try and live out another dream of doing the double. It was really cool to do the Indy 500 this season, but to me it's all about getting those 1,100 miles.
Mr. Hendrick, this was the story of the year in motorsports leading up to it. Let's take a look at it from the sponsorship side. As a team owner, I know that's pretty important. How impactful was this?
It was way more than we expected. The response, for Hendrick Cars, it was, we measure all of the leads and all of the follow-up after the race and during the race. And even before the race in practice, it was just blowing up our internet. So it worked out really well for Hendrick Cars, and it was a real honor to be at Indianapolis. I think this year I won't be quite as nervous as I was last year walking in, but Roger Penske and the track welcomed us with open arms, and NASCAR supported us, and I think it was good for both organizations. And it was unfinished business, and we're looking forward. Zach and his team, I know I have run extra cars before in my career, and I didn't expect to have the quality I should have, but Arrow McLaren gave us exactly the same equipment that they were racing in the other cars, and the speeds were there, and the team was just motivated, jacked up, excited as we were, and it couldn't have been a better marriage going into that race. And weather just cost us a lot.
And speaking of the weather, it obviously interfered with Kyle's participation this year in the 600. I know you wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, we're going to run the 600. We will be here for the 600. If that means having to cut the race short in Indy, we will, because my commitment to NASCAR is that we're in NASCAR, and that's where we run for the championship. And so if weather catches us, Tony will get in the car, and I don't know whether he'll. What are you laughing at? You're not going to stop?
Tony.
Oh, Tony. Okay.
Laughing at me.
Tony's praying for rain.
The cobwebs knocked off him.
Jeff, before we get into the logistics question, the fact that Tony's down here laughing about being the backup driver, I saw you sort of wince.
No, our Jenna wins over there. I don't think there could be a better backup driver than Tony Kanaan. I think we all hope, that doesn't happen, but, I've been out of the car for a while. So I think I share in Tony's, kind of, reaction of, when you haven't done it, and you're not out there every week and you're not practicing all month. You don't necessarily want to be called up to bat in that situation, but, when you do, I know that Tony will step up if that happens.
Jeff, this is a big logistical challenge. Did you learn some things last year that'll make this one a little less challenging?
Yeah, we've been working really hard back, with our engineering group, and we have figured out how to control the weather. So we have got that solved. We won't have to worry about that again. No, I'm so proud of our team for so many reasons, but logistically, right? We were involved in Le Mans the year before, Indy 500 and the double this year, and to do it the first time, there's just always things that you can do better. So the efficiencies, I thought it went really well in every aspect, but I think our whole team knows that given the chance again, now that we have that opportunity, we can do it even better. And to see Kyle, what he did this year behind the wheel, the job that McLaren did, Arrow McLaren, I'm really excited to see the results that can come from this as well.
Zach, how did this benefit both series and both events, the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indy 500? There was a tremendous amount of crossover here.
I think it benefits everybody. So I think race fans are race fans. These are the two biggest forms of motorsports in North America, if not the world. And I think race fans, just like sports fans, are passionate about sport, passionate about motor racing. You might have someone who their first choice is NASCAR, their first choice is IndyCar, their first choice is Formula One, but I think they love the crossover. That's kind of what used to happen. And I think racers, which I consider us all very much racers up here, like to see drivers in other disciplines. It used to happen all the time with the Mario Andretti's, the Dan Gurneys, the AJ Foyts, and it doesn't happen that much these days. A lot of the times the drivers don't want to do it, teams don't want to do it. And so it's pretty cool to find two groups and a racing driver who's, put me in, coach. If it's got a steering wheel, I want to race. And I think the fans love it. I think it raises awareness for both series and raises great awareness for the IndyCar teams, the NASCAR teams, and all the partners associated with us.
Tony, as a past Indy champion, 2013, you were able to watch this operation really close last year. What impressed you about Kyle's performance last year and overall?
Well, I think he made my life a lot easier. They call me the coach, but when you have a good driver, they make you look good. I think I've knew Kyle for a long time. We won the 24 Hours of Daytona together, and I knew how calm he was. But back then, I just thought he was young and he didn't know the car, so he just drove, the best he could. And we came to Indy, it was the same thing. How calm he was. He was so calm that he made me extremely nervous, which is not a good thing. I've never thought I was gonna be so excited for someone else driving a race car. And I was so nervous during the race. Zach was there with me, and it was unbelievable. So I think his calmness and his awareness of what was going on in such a new environment was pretty impressive.
All right, now let's go back to Mr. Hendrick here, and Zach will follow up with you on this. Talk about this partnership a little bit of bringing a premier NASCAR team and a premier IndyCar team and the operations together, Rick.
I think that was one of the things that surprised me was the respect that Zach's team had for our team and vice versa. Everybody from our side, it was a really neat blend when we got together. I mean, everybody worked hand in hand, and it was just, here's our goal, this is how we get there. But it felt like I have known those teammates for years, and just planning on Arrow McLaren's part, on our folks. Like Jeff said, we had 5 airplanes up there, and I had to bum a ride home, and because everybody left me because
Told you we could do it better.
You need to work on that part. But no, you know, it's a lot that goes into that, from practice to running laps. And I mean, Kyle just blew everybody away. But then the prep, Tony's coaching, but the prep of the car and the engineers talking to Kyle, and it was just amazing. I've never seen two groups come together and the culture is kind of mess, and everybody just worked really hard. And from Charlotte Motor Speedway, doing whatever they could do to get us here and to the track with escorts, and same with Indy. Everybody just tried so hard, and I appreciate NASCAR's position and the support they've had. And we talked about it's good for NASCAR and IndyCar. And when we won up there at the Brickyard with the Cup car, I went into the stands, and there were a lot of people wearing the 1100 shirts. And so we had a big crossover of fans, from IndyCar fans, NASCAR fans. So each watched the races. So I think it promoted both sports. And so we're looking forward to a non-rain event, hopefully, and going back and finishing the job.
Zach, we've seen the double done before, but we've never seen this much cooperation, team to team, and it almost blended into one organization. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a lot of pressure. Feel a little bit more relaxed this time around, but when you have Hendrick Motorsport and Jeff Gordon and Kyle Larson, they know what the best looks like. And to put out an incremental car at Indy is not easy. So it comes with a lot of pressure. Chevy helped us a tremendous amount. It was great to see the Hendrick Motorsport team came and visited and did things like the pit stop, which I thought was really cool. And so, yeah, the gelling of the two organizations which was pretty seamless. So that's exciting. I think we benefited. We learned from each other. And I think if we look back at year one, there weren't, the learnings are kind of small. It went really well. And, we brought Fernando Alonso, which is probably the best comparison, because also a driver who had never driven an IndyCar. I consider Fernando to be one of the best drivers in the world, and Kyle matched him every bit the talent around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So the job Kyle did on track was amazing.